I'm Eric Franke, live in Green Bay, where the excitement continues to build. We are 1 hour away from the first pick of the 2025 NFL Draft from Titletown.
And I'm Zach Hanley outside Lambeau Field. Why draft day, day one, always has a special place in Clay Matthews' heart.
Madison police fresh off an assault arrest on State Street. I'm Armand Rahman. I'll have more on how residents and businesses feel about the safety of the area.
That is all coming up right now on News 3 now at 6. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sarah Carlson. The NFL Draft is finally here as thousands of fans supporting every NFL team descend upon Green Bay, Wisconsin for the 3-day-long event. In about an hour, the first and only round tonight will kick off, and fans will learn more about who plays where. We have team coverage all around Lambeau, including sports director Zach Hanley getting a taste of the fan experiences. But first, we're going to check in with Eric Franke and Packers insider Jason Wilde as we get closer to that first round. And it's getting really close, guys, huh?
It is. We're just an hour away now from that first pick, and there's a real energy here. It's kind of exciting. Finally, it's almost like kickoff's about to happen.
Yeah. Other than the fans going behind me that I'm just waiting to interrupt our conversation, yes. It's great.
They're having a great time. There's a lot of fans here. This has been a big boost for the economy and all that good stuff, but people are having a great time here.
I do think that this is very much a Wisconsin and Green Bay crowd, though. I was talking to a friend of mine who grew up here. We call him the mayor of Green Bay, even though he's not officially elected. And there's a far greater percentage of Packers gear that you're seeing.
Yeah.
It's great to have the others mixed in, but I think there's a lot of people proud of their state and proud of their team that are happy to have them.
And they're really being nice. I mean, there are a lot of opposing jerseys, too, but the Green Bay fans are friendly. Now, we don't know if we're going to have you back before the draft. He's got a little radio hit coming up, but there's a show here, the Jason Wilde Show.
The Jason Wilde Show,
I want to get your pick, though.
Okay.
Your final prediction on who they're taking tonight.
So Matt LaFleur did this to me earlier today. We were doing our Q&A with him, and I said, well, who are you going to pick? He said, well, who do you think we should pick? And I said, Teteroa McMillan, who's the wide receiver from Arizona,
like
big playmaker. I really like him. And the Packers seem to really like him. He said, well, okay, well, what if he's not there? I said, okay, well, Shamar Stewart, the defensive end from Texas A&M. He said, okay, well, what if he's not there? And I, of course, I'm like, And then he said, welcome to what it's like in the draft. Because you have lots of guys you like, and then you see some other team take them, and now you got to find somebody else you like. And then that guy goes. So those are my two picks. I don't know if either of them will be available at 23, but if they are, those are two pretty good choices for
no matter what you do, if you make the pick, writers, media, and fans make fun of your pick and second guess it and all that good stuff.
We get made fun of all the time.
Absolutely, we do. Jason Wilde, thank you very much. You are free to go, and we are ready for draft day, the first pick coming up in an hour or so. Jason will be back tonight at 9 and 10 at 10 o'clock to break down all of the, I guess hopefully reflect on a pick that's been made. But let's go to Zach. He's inside or closer to Lambeau Field where there's just a buzz of activity. Zach.
Hey, Eric. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. I'm just hanging out with some of my friends. I should say like thousands and thousands of friends. They said that they expected 250,000 people to come. I can tell you we're close to that, and they're just coming in as droves. This area is the fan experience. It opened up around noon. We were here when no one was there. At noon, the doors opened and they just started running. So some people have been in this area since noon, and they're going to stay for the entire draft. Again, the Packers picked 23rd tonight, so that's probably around 10:20, 10:25. So that's 10 and a half hours of just standing outside waiting to hear who the Packers pick. Green Bay fans are truly the best. For now, live outside Lambeau Field, Zach Hanley, News 3 Sports.
Zach, thank you. Yeah, the excitement inside, closer to the draft stage. There's a ton of activity out here. It is going to be a fantastic night here in Green Bay. And yeah, we got to wait a while to find out who the newest member of the Green Bay Packers will be. But those Tennessee Titans are on the clock with that 7 o'clock start, now less than an hour away. Sarah, let's go back to you.
The report with all that noise behind you and all those friends. We'll talk to you a little bit later. And the rain may return later tonight into Friday. For the latest, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington with our first warned weather forecast.
Hey, Sarah, yeah, showers will be on the increase for southern Wisconsin and for Lambeau Field as we go into the overnight hours and into Friday. In fact, future track showing by the time we get towards 9, 10, 11 o'clock, towards our 10 o'clock newscast, couple showers. Can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm this evening as well. Radar 3000, a few showers way off to the northwest up towards Viroqua and Camp Douglas. And as we zoom on in towards the Green Bay area, no showers right now, dry. We just saw that out there with all the fans. That's good news that it's dry now. That will not be the case later tonight. Showers will eventually break out for Lambeau Field and for southern Wisconsin. Friday, if you are in Lambeau Field and you can hear us, or if you have friends that can let you know, an umbrella is going to be handy. Friday morning, temperatures getting up to around 50, and then a nice 5-7 with sunny skies in Lambeau Field on Saturday. Will be about 60 here in Madison. So a nice weekend is ahead. Coming up in Maine weather, I'm going to use Future Track to show you the showers tonight. When are they going to peak in southern Wisconsin? How much water you can expect out of those showers? And then we need to talk about some serious thunderstorm chances come Monday. That's in a bit, Sarah.
All right, thank you, Alex. One man is in the Dane County Jail facing multiple charges tonight after allegedly assaulting several people on State Street. Armand Rahman has more on last night's incident and whether State Street visitors feel safe headed into summer.
It was still relatively early on Wednesday night around 8:50 p.m. when Madison police were called to the 500 block of State Street for an assault.
I believe it was just like a physical assault, no known weapons at this time.
Officers arrived and were told by witnesses that a man tried to attack several people in this area of State Street.
I was actually out here last night, so I did not see that. So, that's crazy.
After police arrived, he tried to run away and was arrested after a short foot chase. Police don't know what business the man came out of. The block is home to busy spots like Whiskey Jack's Saloon and Knucklehead CBD and Vapes.
Still feel relatively safe.
Kieran Mohan has been working here for about a month.
I have to walk around like sometimes after midnight, whether it's for this job or other jobs. I don't necessarily feel like my life's in danger.
On Thursday, MPD did not have safety stats for the first quarter of April on hand yet, but earlier in the week, Interim Chief John Patterson says violent crimes, specifically shootings, were down 10% citywide. MPD has already started their downtown safety initiative.
If you're coming down to State Street in the summertime during the weekends, expect to see a lot more officer presence.
For months, would you tell people that it is safe to go down there, I guess?
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, always be aware of your surroundings. If you are going to go down to State Street on the weekends, make sure you have a plan to get yourself home safely.
And despite Wednesday night's incident,
I feel pretty safe on State Street most of the time, but I'm usually with someone.
Yeah, we really emphasize using the buddy system, especially as roommates, always walking together
Never
wherever
walk
we're going.
alone.
reporting in Madison, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
And anyone with information on last night's incident is encouraged to contact the Madison Police Department. Well, a local high school student went home with a $500 scholarship check for learning how to make work zones a little safer in Wisconsin. 15-year-old Aaron Nudrenny of Milton received his prize during a brief ceremony outside the Milton High School this afternoon. A year ago, the Wisconsin Transportation Builders Association created Work Zone Safe. This was teaching teens what they'll encounter in work zones. It's done through personalized stories, articles, and videos of men and women in Wisconsin who have been impacted by crashes.
We're excited that over 2,000 students have taken this course and successfully passed it, and we're hoping that over time that number builds, and that also builds the safety of our roadways and our work zones.
The event also marked the one-year anniversary of the program's statewide launch and coincides with National Work Zone Awareness Week. Data out this week from the organization shows 10 people, including 2 construction workers, died in work zone crashes last year. Well, this afternoon, hard hats and heavy hearts marched through downtown Madison for the 10th annual Workers' Memorial Day processional. Our Merrill Hubbard shows us what these construction workers are walking for.
The sound of the pipes signal the start to the march, where step by step these Wisconsin construction workers and advocates remember the lives of workers who have died due to workplace injuries. In just the last year, 16 construction workers in Wisconsin have lost their lives on the job. The walk from Monona Terrace to St. Patrick's Church is organized by the Wisconsin Building Trades Council, and it serves as a call for stronger workplace safety and protections. Operating engineers Local 139 is a Wisconsin union that represents heavy equipment operators and technicians statewide. Terry McGowan with the union walked with the crowd.
Many of the families of these fallen construction workers will be present, and we think that's important because we want the families to know that their loved ones aren't forgotten. We're here to remember them because, again, we have that common thread. We're all brothers and sisters in construction.
McGowan says they are trying to get the trades to the point where there are 0 deaths or injuries on the job. Reporting in Madison, Merrill Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Meryl. And that walk concluded at St. Patrick's Church, where they held a service for the lives lost from work-related injuries. And coming up next, we head back out to Green Bay for day 1 of the NFL Draft. After the break, Eric and Jason return with analysis of what we might expect to see in the first round. We'll be right back.
Watching News 3 Now at 6. Moving forward.
Good evening once again. Our live coverage continues from the NFL Draft in Green Bay as thousands of fans continue to make their way towards the NFL Draft experience. And this has been a day 10 years really in the making for the community of Green Bay, the entire region. It was 10 years ago, back in 2015, that the NFL announced they would take the draft on the road. So Green Bay put in a bid. 2 years ago, they were awarded the draft, and there has been an immense amount of work ever since then. Even late last night, we saw crews putting the finishing touches on this before the fans started to flood in today at noon. From Seattle to Miami and all points in between, fans are flocking to Titletown. This is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime deal, right?
It is. It's a very special moment. I was able to bring up my nephew and his best friend, Kyle, and just really looking to embrace the day. And
you got your draft board ready. Who should the Packers take?
I don't know. I think they need a defensive tackle.
And since it's not game week, even those from enemy territory are able to bear being in the shadow of the NFL's most famous stadium.
It's definitely different than kind of like the Chicago area. It's definitely like a neighborhood with a stadium placed right in between them.
Super welcoming. Yeah, when we paid for our parking, the person was like, "Oh, here's our card. Call us if you have any questions or any concerns. Like, we'll be here all day." You know?
Midwest nice.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
This Browns bus straight from Cleveland's famous Dog Pound has made road trips all over the country. It's full of all kinds of, shall we say, unique NFL artifacts. You got a functioning urinal over here. Or it doesn't function anymore, right? Or does it?
No. It's a beer cooler.
It's a beer cooler. Oh, that's nice. I hope you had to sanitize before you.
We did very much. Actually, I took a professional to do it because I didn't want the women to freak out on me.
But like many of the fans here, they come with an appreciation and respect for Green Bay and its significance in the history of the game of football.
I'm excited to go inside Lambeau. Never been. It's iconic. It's the Lombardi Trophy. There's so much history here.
You know, it's been 75 years since there was actually another draft on Wisconsin soil. Back then in 1939, the NFL draft was held at what is now the downtown Hilton Hotel in Milwaukee. Things have changed just a bit since then. They're expecting about 250,000 fans to hit Green Bay this weekend. And Sarah, I think you really would have liked that Cleveland Browns bus, especially the urinal, because it was pretty fancy.
That's where I would have wanted my drinks to come from, for sure. Thank you, Eric. Great job. So fun to see all those people. So friendly, too. We'll talk to you a little bit later. All right, there is still more ahead, I should say, on News 3 Now at 6. After the break, meet a unique Packer fan chasing glory and how you can help out. Plus, we could see some severe weather in southern Wisconsin next week. Alex will take a look at the radar when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Well, this is a story to remember. The Green Bay Packers are hosting a competition to try to find their biggest fan. So thousands of people across the country submitted photos, and only 5 finalists were selected. Of those, one of the potential super fans happens to have 4 legs. Here's Scout, a 4-month-old golden retriever from Scout's bandana to his treats. Look at this sweetie pie, surrounded by green and gold. For Packers fans like Miranda Young and Scout, this is a way for the team to reach its base and show everyone how much they love the Packers.
I was just proud that, we could represent the Packers in our own home that way, in our Chippewa Valley community. It's just it's mind-blowing.
And so is that puppy. To vote, you just go to packerseverywhere.com/fan-favorite. People can vote daily for their picks until May 1st. I think I'll be doing that. Well, we may see some more rain later tonight. Here's Alex with the complete forecast.
And I have to add that Loki, my German Shepherd, he's got a green and gold bandana, Sarah. So not quite the jersey, but he's got at least some fan costumes as well, so it's cute. All right, the rain shower activity, that's going to be coming on in here a little bit later this evening. Most of this evening is going to be dry, but as we get towards the 10 o'clock newscast, showers, we can't rule out an isolated clap or two of thunder this evening. Not expecting severe weather at all tonight. Well, let's go a little bit further into the early morning hours here of Friday. Rain breaks out widespread southwest Wisconsin across the rest of the area. So head towards 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. That's the peak, and then it's out of here by the time we get to, let's say, noon in the afternoon. But we'll still have the clouds around tomorrow. It's going to be a cooler day tomorrow. You're going to need the rain jacket, the umbrella, and something a little bit warmer to wear. Not just here, but also up in Lambeau Field as well. They'll get those showers too. 1/4 to 1/2 inch of water expected out of this weather event. Not a whole lot of water, but again, we'll take all the drops we can get. Drought monitor update in just a moment. We need to spend some time on Monday going on into Tuesday. This weather event could be a big one for the upper Midwest when we're 4 days out, and we had outlooks yesterday and prior to that as well. We're already seeing enhanced outlooks, meaning the Storm Prediction Center is really concerned that parts of the upper Midwest, including southwest Wisconsin, may be looking at a widespread severe weather event. Monday night is when right now, as I take a look at the latest of our weather models, is the most likely period for this to occur. As we go into Monday morning and you joined Savannah during the morning show, don't be surprised to have a couple thunderstorms already. This is as that warm, humid air moves in. Some of those storms could produce hail Monday morning. Then we have a break, and then we eye up that cold front coming through, leaning into the area very strong as we head towards 8, 9, 10 o'clock. This cold front could have strong damaging winds, large hail, and we could be looking at a couple of isolated tornadoes as we go into Monday evening. Good news is, though, that front, it exits the area on Tuesday. We may drop alert day Tuesday if that front passes through soon enough, and then that takes the severe weather threat out of here on Tuesday. Recap, isolated large hail Monday night. Best chance for severe weather. Hopefully it doesn't materialize, but the best chance right now is Monday evening into the overnight hours. All hands on deck here in the First Run Weather Team. Cold front exits on Tuesday, and that would end the severe weather threat. Again, we had rain for the Friday forecast, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Looking at some decent amounts of water, at least that's a plus. Downside is the severe weather threat with that front coming through Monday night. We have had improvements with the drought monitor, still holding on to moderate drought conditions, Platteville to Darlington to Monroe, but improvement overall in southern Wisconsin as that continues to eat on up as we get rain showers and an isolated thunderstorm tonight, especially as we head towards after the midnight hour. A cooler day on Friday, temperatures in the low to mid 50s, but we got a nice weekend ahead to southern Wisconsin. Temperatures upper 60s, right around 70, cooler to the northwest where showers are moving in. Overnight this evening, I should say rather, plan for a beautiful one as those clouds on the increase, and we have a gorgeous weekend ahead, but tune in for all forecasts with alert day conditions on the way from Monday evening specifically. We'll be right back, folks.
And our live coverage continues from Green Bay. The NFL draft just about to begin. The constant flow of fans, many of them in their green and gold, of course, but a lot of colors from all 32 teams in the NFL. These fans flowing into the NFL draft experience, but it all comes down to what's going to happen in the next half hour. And for more on that, we go to sports director Zach Hanley. Zach?
Yeah, Eric, you just said it. In a little over half an hour, the Titans are officially on the clock. And with the draft being in Green Bay, there are a ton of Packer legends here just roaming around. Clay Matthews being one of them. Well, later tonight, he'll help NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell officially open up the draft with a couple of his former teammates. But before that, he teamed up with current Packer running back Josh Jacobs to give back to local military members at a luncheon. Now, both Matthews and Jacobs were first-round picks in their day and know firsthand what tonight is all about.
Green Bay was not on my radar. New England was. Figured I was going to New England. Next thing you know, I'm spending the better part of my life in Green Bay, Northeast Wisconsin. So it's just amazing. You got to keep an open mind and hope that you fall to a great organization like I did.
Please do not trip on the way up the steps. I forgot to mention that. On the way up the steps to, when they finally called my name, I was like, I do not want to fall. I wanted to make sure that my suit was, clean and things like that. But that was probably the biggest things I was thinking about.
So obviously everyone wants to know who the Packers are picking, so I had to ask Clay Matthews to put his GM hat on. Of course, Eric, he went defense, and I feel like he could give the Packers a play or two if he really needed to.
He looks like he can still play, no doubt about it. Zach, thank you. So here we are, just a half hour away or so, as we mentioned, from the NFL draft. We'll be back tonight. Of course, Jason Wilde will join Zach with hopefully after the Packers make that pick. We don't exactly know when that'll be, but we'll have complete coverage tonight on News 3 Now at 10. Sarah?
Thank you, Eric. We will be watching closely. All right, we have a final check on our forecast, and it's going to get a little rainy.
A little rainy here and in Green Bay, too. So you're going to need your umbrella no matter if you're in Madison or if you're in Green Bay. About a quarter, maybe half inch of water out of that weather system Friday. All attention turns to Monday. Going into Monday night, we're tracking the potential for alert day conditions across southern Wisconsin. You want to tune in tonight at 10. I'll have the very latest weather model projections and take us through that potential storm Monday evening.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alex, and thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6. The latest on the NFL draft coming up at 10.